Good evening and welcome to Sunset News on this Thursday evening. As always, we bring you news, community stories, economics, weather and sports. I am Aina Kweo. In the news tonight, the Miss Namibia organization, powered by the Namibian Broadcasting Corporation, yesterday afternoon held a seshing ceremony for the Miss Teen Namibia and Miss Namibia 2023 title holders. Have a look.
Thank you.
First up, we have our Miss Teen Oriana Rivero, who will be Miss Teen International Namibia. Next up, Miss Earl. Our second runner-up, Martha Kaltinavali. Congratulations. There we go. And then we have our Miss World representative, Albertina Heimbala. Yes. I should have put on higher heels. And then Miss Namibia 2023, Jamila Uiras, who will be representing us at Miss Universe 2023.
Agriculture Minister Karl Schleitwein lists some of the positive developments with regards to the reopening of farmers' meat market. The relaunch of the sheep abattoir took place today in Mariental. The executive manager of the Namibian Agriculture Union, Ruli Venter, stressed that trust between industry players in the livestock sector is important. Elani Smith reports.
The reopening of farmers' meat abattoir and processing facilities is a positive development in the Namibian sheep and small stock sector. This facility, in this region and beyond, it is a catalytic investment in small stock value chains with positive multiplier effects across the entire value chain through, amongst others, creating a sustainable market for sheep and other small stock for producers on the basis of competitive pricing and sourcing of slaughter-ready sheep and goats from producers. Stimulating domestic productive capacity given the steady domestic and export demand for meat and meat products of high quality.
Allow me to briefly expand on the vision we share with our stakeholders, including government, to realize this dream of a sustainable and flourishing agricultural sector. Through targeted investments in infrastructure, such as irrigation systems, rural connectivity, we can empower farmers with the tools that they need to succeed. Additionally, it's imperative to promote sustainable agricultural practices. Climate change poses a significant threat to our food production systems, and we must address the challenge head-on. Investing in sustainable farming methods such as organic agriculture and agroforestry can help mitigate environmental degradation while ensuring long-term productivity. Encouraging the use of renewable energy resources and promoting water conservation.
Emmanuel Mulunga, the country's oil parastatals head, who was suspended from duty earlier this year, pending an investigation into allegations laid against him, is set to learn his fate at a disciplinary hearing in the coming weeks. Mulunga confirmed that he is set for a disciplinary hearing later this month. However, his employer remains tight-lipped on the matter. The reinstatement of our managing director is a decision that cannot be made until the conclusion of this investigation, NAMCO spokesperson Paulo Colhel told Namibian Sun yesterday. Allegations against Mulunga include leakage of confidential information, stock losses without without being authorized, deposing an affidavit which comprised the interest of NAMCO in litigation against NAMCO, as well as the breach of trust and role and/or involvement in such wrongdoings since his suspension in April. Mulonga has maintained his innocence and even went as far as writing to the Mines and Finance Ministers in a bid to have his suspension lifted because it was unlawful. It is still not clear whether the hearing will coincide with the finalization of an independent probe currently underway. NAMCO insiders told Namibian Sun that the Anti-Corruption Commission's recent pronouncement clearing Mulonga has placed the board in a predicament, with the probe being seen as its only hope to bolster its allegations against Mulonga. The board, insider said, it is adamant that it has a strong case against Mulonga and it has no plans to backtrack on its plans to hold the under fire MD accountable. Despite Mulonga being cleared by the country's corruption watchdog, NAMCO has made it clear that the ACC probe has no bearing on the independent probe. Moving over to our next story. The Independent Patriots for Change says SWAPO should apologize for the hardship caused by the fish rod scandal and its part in the Lubango dungeon saga. The calls for SWAPO to atone were made by party leader Panduleni Itula, who said Namibians had suffered immeasurable damage because of the bribery scandal involving former Fisheries Minister Bernard Esau and former Justice Minister Sakeus Shangala. This follows comments made last week by Defense Minister Frans Kapofi that the SWAPO party should not be linked to the corruption scandal, despite a Supreme Court judgment that the party had benefited from fish rot. Itula said Kapofi's denial about SWAPO's involvement in the scandal was shocking, despite admission given under oath that the party benefited monetarily. Itula also took a swipe at Commerce Region Governor Laura McLeod Kashaura, who said she should do away with democracy if it was up to her. Moving over to our next story, 9 cheetahs have now died in India's Kuno National Park. 4 South Africans vet have now appealed to the Supreme Court in India and expressed their concerns about the management of the project. They state that while some deaths are to be expected on projects of this nature, we believe that some of these deaths could have been prevented with better animal monitoring and more appropriate and timely veterinary care. Have a look.
In die Indiese Kuno Nasionale Park het nog 1 jagluiperd van Afrika gesterf. Die dier is reeds die 9de jagluiperd wat van die Project Cheetah binne 'n paar maande gevrek het. Te midde van toenemende kritiek aan die projek, het 4 Suid-Afrikaanse wildveeartse van die Projek Cheetah na die Hoërhof van sommige van hierdie sterftes voorkom kon word met beter dieremonitering en beter toepaslike en tydige veeartsenykundige sorg. Die dood van 2 van die jagluiperds as gevolg van velinfeksies van senders was onvoorsienbaar, maar kon baie vinniger gediagnoseer gewees het as die beeldmateriaal vroeër na die veeartse voorgelê is. Dit sou die risiko's vir die oorblywende diere tot 'n minimum beperk het. Intussen het Dr. Laurie Martin 'n brief aan die Hoërhof toegestuur om soortgelyke kritiek uit te spreek.
In our Story of the Day segment, Capricorn Group CIO awarded the Southern African Financial Technology Honor. After the break.
Welcome to Active Kids, a daily TV show that sparks creativity, learning, and fun for young minds. With exciting activities and lessons, Active Kids inspires curiosity and a love for learning.
New face to the 15.
The perfect mix of play and education. Don't miss out on the fun. Tune into Active Kids on NTV every weekday at 10 o'clock and let the adventure begin.
Capricorn Group's Chief Information Officer, Dr. Etienne Slabert, has been bestowed with the CIO of the Year 2023 award attributed to his contribution to the financial technology in Southern Africa. The award was announced at the 19th edition of VEX Southern Africa 2023 Awards, hosted in Johannesburg, South Africa on the 25th of July 2023. This is what Dr. Slabert had to say.
We remember that breast, skin, cervical and prostate cancer is a huge challenge in Namibia, but we also realize that especially blood cancers and childhood pediatric oncology has reached a critical level. And we can all become heroes. We can all be game changers by becoming a bone marrow or stem cell donor. And this is what this collaboration of hope is all about. But the reality is this: there might be a Namibian out there who would be in need of stem cells. And if we do not build on our own registry, how could we ever ask anyone to help our own people? Therefore, I implore you, fellow Namibians, please consider to become a donor. Please register, or please contact the Cancer Association, and we'll sign you up, get you swabbed, and help you to help others.
To find a stem cell donor when you have leukemia or a blood cancer, it's a 1 in 100,000 chance to find your match out in the general population. Within your family, with your siblings, there's a 25% chance of finding a match. Once that is exhausted, the numbers climb immediately. Unrelated, 1 in 100,000, but that only rings true if you're Caucasian. If you're a person of color in Africa or anywhere in the world, that can jump up to 1 in 400,000 to find a match in the world. Because the way the HLA, it's called human leukocyte antigen, we have to match that up. It's so diverse, but we inherit it along racial lines. So it might not be that we have rare antigens, it's more about lack of representation on a global stage. Because in the world, more than 42,000 donors exist or have signed up, of which 80% or 70% are Caucasian. So there's a lack of representation. So when myself, or let's say Kushi gets ill, it's very difficult to find a match. And we need more people, more young people of color, to sign up. Namibia specifically, because genetically it is quite unique as well. And the Herero people and the way South Africa and Namibia was colonized, we have a lot of varying genetics going on. So the best advice would be our people for our people. Our people can save our own people. The partnership will enable eligible Namibian citizens between the ages of 16 and 45 to register as a donor. It doesn't mean that we're going to take your stem cells or we're going to drill into your bones. It's as simple as a mouth swab, which is looks a bit like an earbud. And all we do is we swab. These get sent off for your HLA testing, facilitated by PathCare and obviously CAN. And once you are tested, you can go into the global database. So as a donor, if you decide to sign up, be committed, be able to stand firm and say, I'm not going to let fear chase me. I've signed up. Don't give a patient false hope if you think you're going to be afraid in the future, rather.
Moving on to community news, the Maritime Cleanup Campaign takes place in Falfish Bay. After the break.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
The Maritime Cleanup Campaign took place this morning at Independence Beach in Walvis Bay. The cleanup highlights the significance of the theme, preserving a healthy ocean ecosystem for a resilient economy, which underscores the importance of maintaining a balance between deriving economic benefits from the ocean and preserving the ocean ecosystem in a sustainable manner. According to the mayor of Walvis Bay, Trevino Forbes, the cleanup event forms part of the activities lined up for the Maritime Festival, which celebrates the contribution the blue economy makes in Walvis Bay's economic growth and development.
Today is the first day of our cleanup campaign for the Walvis Bay Maritime Festival. So this is part of the festival. The cleanup will form part of the event leading up to the festival tomorrow. The festival will start with all different kinds of events. As you can see, we have various industries taking part in the cleanup. Also, we have schools and members of the municipality taking part in this cleanup. Like I told the group, that we should not make this just this kind of event must be happening more frequently. So I want to see beach cleanups made from the municipality side, also town cleanups from the municipality side, initiated by the municipality for the community more frequently. If you can do it once every 2 months at least, or once every month, that will be wonderful. So I would like to invite all residents of Walvis Bay, residents of the Erongo region, Namibia at large, please do come and join us for the Maritime Festival that will be taking place tomorrow and Saturday. We have various activities, and this is an opportunity for SMEs to meet the bigger industries. Make your products, make your services, make it known to the industry at large, so that everybody can make use of each other. The Walvis Bay is a community, and we want everybody to make use of the services provided, especially by the SMEs. Buy your stalls, make yourself known, and partake in the event.
After the break, we return with economic news.
To another exciting episode of Erongo Talk. Jou is die weer en vertel ook vir julle waar die vis heel moontlik gaan byt.
In our economic news tonight, the increase in the stock of international reserves from 49.6 billion Namibian dollars in May to 52.9 billion Namibian dollars in June is sufficient to cover imports for 5.5 months, the Bank of Namibia said. According to the Namibia Statistic Agency, Namibia's import bill averaged 10.5 billion Namibian dollars in the first half of 2023. In June, the value of imports stood at 10.1 billion Namibian dollars compared to 12 billion Namibian dollars recorded in May. Now we take a look at our economic indicators, proudly brought to you by Beck Ventuk. The Namibian dollar trades at 23 Namibian dollars 71 cents to a British pound and 20 Namibian dollars 46 cents to 1 euro. All three commodities are down: gold, copper and platinum, while Brent crude oil has increased by 2.25%. In international news after the break, Zimbabwe's economic revival is elusive ahead of voting. We are so excited to be kickstarting your morning with entertainment. Everything was happening during this past weekend.
Yes.
Exciting news.
Wow, no, she was killing it already.
In my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with him serving the full term.
as well as keeping you informed on the issues that you need to know happening in and around our country. In international news tonight, members of an exiled hunter-gatherer community in the fostered borderlands of eastern Congo are struggling to survive. Some of them say authorities are putting red guerrillas over their rights. An estimated 10,000 indigenous Bwata live on the fringes of Kahuzi Biga National Park in the makeshift villages, even though a pledge in 2019 promised delay compensation for their forced eviction when the park was created in 1970 without legal access to their traditional livelihoods and promised alternatives. Residents describe a fear of dying from hunger. Have a look.
Zimbabwean Regina Ruana joined a long queue at a bank in the capital, Harare, to withdraw her late husband's pension. But she was told banknotes have run out. Banknote shortages are a symbol of the financial ruin that occurred during the decades-long rule of Robert Mugabe. President Emmerson Mnangagwa promised to tackle the country's economic woes, quote, head-on. But the promised economic revival never came.
We used to have a strong currency and could afford a decent living, but life has become more difficult over the past 10 years.
Ruona's late husband's monthly pension of 24,000 Zimbabwe dollars, that's just over $5 US, is barely enough to buy about 4 pounds of sugar and half a gallon of cooking oil.
In our next economic story, the U.S. State Department said its embassy in Niamey is open and they intend for it to remain open. The United States is set to evacuate some staff and families from its embassy in Niger after military officers seized power there, a U.S. official said on Wednesday, even as the mission will remain open and senior leadership will continue working from there. Niger is a key Western ally in the fight against Islamist insurgents. Foreign powers have condemned the takeover, fearing it could allow the militants to gain ground. Have a look.
I will say that the U.S. Embassy in Niamey is open. We intend for it to remain open. We remain committed to the people of Niger and our relationship with the people of Niger, and we remain diplomatically engaged at the highest levels. That's something that will continue. I will also say that the safety and security of our personnel and of U.S. citizens overseas is our highest priority. We constantly monitor events on the ground and make decisions based on what's appropriate to safeguard our personnel. We're monitoring the situation on the ground and making the decisions we need to ensure their security now, but I don't have any further announcements at this time.
And what's your assessment of the security situation at the embassy?
The security at I would say generally the situation in Niamey remains calm. It is a fluid situation. We continue to monitor it, and we will make whatever decisions are appropriate regarding the safety of our personnel in the embassy as well as U.S. citizens on the ground.
After the break, we return with the weather predictions for tomorrow. The northern region has a maximum temperature range of 30 degrees and the minimum temperature ranges of 11.2 degrees. 13.2 degrees with clear conditions throughout the day. Now moving over to the coastal region, which has temperatures ranging from 16 to 8 degrees to 24.6 degrees and a minimum temperature range of 10.1 degrees to 14.3 degrees. After the break, we take a look at the sports package proudly brought to you by Sports Rep.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Wrap for Sunset News. Let's get into the stories. Namibia's champion football club African Stars are actively at work on and off the field, preparing to put up a good show in the Confederation of African Football's upcoming Champions League. African Stars are currently on tour in Botswana, where they are preparing to play a second pre-season friendly this weekend. The Namibians played to a 0-0 draw against Police 11 FC on Tuesday and will line up against Township Rollers in Maun on Saturday afternoon. In transfer news, African Stars have also confirmed that the experienced national team midfielder Dinamo Fredericks has opted not to renew his contract with the club.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Here are the highlights from today's broadcast. Emmanuel Mulunga, the country's oil parastatal head, who was suspended from duty earlier this year pending an investigation into allegations laid against him, is set to learn his fate at the disciplinary hearing in the coming weeks. The Independent Patriots for Change say SWAPO should apologize for the hardship caused by the fish rod scandal. And that brings us to the end of tonight's broadcast. Make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook on all NMH platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website, which is called OneUp2. Sunset News screens on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV 25 in Namibia every weekday from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. This has been Sunset News. Please don't end your day without us. Good night.